state election should also be done in line with what is done for the FCT election. So if the FCT election is adopting so much from the new electoral, we thought it would also be a reflection of what we should see at the state level.
Mr. James, thank you very much for speaking with us on this conversation this morning. Our guest, Paul James, is a program manager at Yaga Africa, and he joined us to speak on Yaga Africa's call to the National Assembly not to heed calls to scrap the State Electoral Commission. The conversation continues on Now Breakfast. In just a moment, we turn to News Extra right here on your Beyond the News station.
You're listening to Now Breakfast. Technology is constantly evolving, and artificial intelligence is powering everything around us.
So for nations to continue to survive in the world where artificial intelligence is now everywhere around us, we must participate in governance structure in terms of how it is managed.
At Radio Now 95.3 FM, we're telling the story of the evolution of technology like nobody else can. Now that's another reason to listen to us.
Every second and every minute, something new happens. The news breaks.
People at a spot, and the angry mob decided to bomb.
Everyone wants to share it, but not everyone wants to dig deep. Now that's where we come in. We bring you the news and go beyond with in-depth conversations and analysis with stakeholders.
I honestly think that the federal government on its own part has broken.
If voters or more people want to be part of that decision-making process, they need to be part.
GDP is not a good measure of development anyway. We are not there. We need to counter the narrative of the fact that their vote does not count. If their vote does not count.
We bring you the story within the story. And that's what makes us tick. We are Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos, and we go beyond the news.
This is Now Breakfast.
For every news story, there's more.
So we can write the best security architecture plan, but it remains an essay until it becomes manifest on ground.
More detail.
Every time you are doing reform, even when we were doing it 2006, 2007, the question is also that it's not the right time. When will be the right time?
More than just the headline. This is News Extra on Radio Now 95.3 FM.
On News Extra today, we take a look at Gaza and the ongoing Israeli onslaught against the Palestinian people. The cost in Palestinian lives in the course of the last 7-8 months stands at 37,087, mostly women and children. And the reality that Palestine now has the world's largest population of child amputees. Now this is side by side with damages to infrastructure that mean that a return to peace will begin with rebuilding the entirety of Gaza. Attempts by external mediators have failed to bring any ceasefire, and the question of just what peace would look like for Palestine remains unanswered. Joining us this day on News Extra is Ramzi Abo. Mr. Abo is the leader of the Palestinian community in Nigeria. Mr. Abo, thank you very much for joining us on this conversation.
Thank you for having me today with you. Thank you. Good morning, Nigeria.
Would like to begin by getting a sense of what the latest is out of Palestine.
The latest of everyday killing and everyday massacre. The last massacre was in An-Nusayrat camp. 240 have been killed. 450 have been injured. Just for the Israeli IDF to release 4 captured prisoners in the camp. They killed 240 and the injured, and 10 of these people who are died belong to my family. If I tell you how they killed them by mashing them on their tent with their bulldozers and with their tanks and with their heavy equipment just to pass and get these 4 prisoners. The situation is too bad. They're killing every day, and they're killing not only in one area, in every single part of Gaza Strip.
Right. So
Mr. Abel, let me ask you this. How exactly are the people coping with these attacks? Do they come impromptu? The Israeli government continues to insist that typically they give warnings before the attacks come.
The problem of this war, the lies of the IDF. Israel tells the world they are giving warning, and they are giving warning. Israel does not give warning to anybody. When Israel attack, Israel attack. When they attack schools, United Nations schools, which they said it is the zone, is safe zone for people to run away to. And I will tell you one thing, there is no single piece of Gaza land is being safe or you can go to. All Gaza under attack. All Gaza under attack.
So right. To go back to this, what do you make of the recent attempts by mediators towards a ceasefire?
If you can look at the news of the immediate ceasefire attempt, America or Biden tells the world that we are waiting Hamas respond. Is it Hamas respond we are waiting, or Israel respond of ceasefire? Israel does not want ceasefire. And if you look at it yesterday, two of his cabinet resigned because the two want the ceasefire, but Benjamin Netanyahu does not want ceasefire. It is not the Palestinians you have to ask. It is the Israelis who have been killing, who have been attacking. And look again, it's not only Gaza Strip. Even if you look at the West Bank, every day, the IDF attack one city or the other, one camp of the other of the West Bank also. So the whole land of the Palestinians are being attacked, not only Gaza. And I want you just to be looking at West Bank too, and Jerusalem city, which there is 250,000 Palestinians are living in the old city of Jerusalem. You understand?
Mr. Abu.
So ceasefire, we as the Palestinians, we look for ceasefire. We want to live in peace. We want to live in our land as a human, as a nation. If you look at the United Nations recognition, 147 countries recognize Palestine as a state of the Palestinians. But the occupation, the foreign power does not want that to happen.
Mr.
So
Abu,
you cannot
if
ask.
I may, my apologies for interrupting you. At the moment, the ceasefire conversation, the most recent one is one that has been tabled by the U.S. government. And I mean, we're aware of where the negotiations are right now. I do wonder, the people of Palestine in the Gaza Strip, in the West Bank, are they aware of the details of this ceasefire that the U.S. is proposing?
Definitely. The issue is not the points of the ceasefire agreement or a roadmap. The issue is Israel does not want the ceasefire to go on. Israel says, okay, we agree with the first point, but we cannot stop the war at the end. You understand? We are the victims. We are the victims of this war. How can you ask the victim to accept the roadmap of ceasefire, and the roadmap does not say a clear point that this ceasefire is going to an end?
Mr. Abu,
you cannot take it. You cannot take it just temporary of ceasefire to release your captured prisoners, and you cannot say we are going to rebuild, we are going to remove sanctions, we are going to give recognition of Palestinians' land and co. 80% of Gaza is being destroyed. More than 50,000 are being killed. More than 60,000 have been injured. So we are the victim of this war. You understand?
We do.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Abu,
you say something.
Thank you so much for speaking with us. We would like to extend our heartfelt sympathies to your family We know that this loss is personal to you as well as the people of Gaza. We do hope for an end to this conflict in the nearest future.
Yeah, we pray so, and we pray the whole world, the whole nation to stand and ask the massacres of daily massacres and tell them to stop this war as soon as possible. Thank you very much. Thank you, Nigeria.
Ramzi Abo is the leader of the Palestinian community in Nigeria, and he joined the News Extra to speak on the cost of Israel's onslaught, which has lasted since started in October, on the 7th of October last year, and continues even till today. There have been attempts to bring about a ceasefire, but these attempts, as you have heard, have not yielded any results. Today, the UN Security Council might be sitting on a US proposal for a ceasefire, but it is one that has not been confirmed as yet. That's News Extra on Radio Now 95.3 FM Lagos. In just a few moments, we'll bring you the news review right here on your Beyond the News station. Do stay with us.
We are intentional about the stories we tell and the language we use in telling them.
Intentional about the people we speak to and why we speak to them.
Because here at Radio Now 95.3 FM, we aren't just telling any story.
We are telling your story.
And your story is all that matters.
Every second and every minute, something new happens. The news breaks.
And angry mobs decided to bomb.
Everyone wants to share it, but not everyone wants to dig deep. Now that's where we come in. We bring you the news and go beyond with in-depth conversations and analysis with stakeholders.
I honestly think that the federal government on its own part has broken.
If voters or more people want to be part of that decision-making process, they need to be part of it.
GDP is not a good measure of development anyways. We are not there. We need to counter the narrative of the fact that our vote does not count. If your vote does not count.
We bring you the